everybody. Good evening. I'm Beef, and today, over there, I got a special friend of mine. The reason why I get to interview these people is because they have an impact in my life. And I'm just gonna say that this guy, Benz Limsenkeng, what up, bro?
What's up, fam?
This guy made a big impact in my life for over the few years of
Uh,
how long we've met. How long have you been known? How long have we known each other actually?
we've known each other, I think, 2016, so that's around
2016.
4 years ago. But then I think we really became close starting 2017 when we were working together already.
All right. So actually, it's a funny story how Benz and I met. We had an NGO chapter, like, oh my God, in our
Yep,
lives, right? So can you imagine
yep,
that this guy was doing NGO service and I was doing NGO service also. I never really expected that to happen.
yep.
And
Actually, Beef more of an inspiration to me because he joined the NGO earlier than I did. Um, And I guess like as someone as young as I was before, seeing that some another person my age doing something as brave as that gave me the courage to also jump in. And so Beef played a huge part in my life also. Uh,
this was
if
a
he tells you that I changed him, no, he changed me first.
no, dude. That's character development right there. Well, that's one of these things. Like the first time that I saw him, he was like on top of a fucking jeep, with the 4x4.
Yes.
You were one of those characters that I didn't really get to talk to that much during that trip when we went to the mountains. So to be
Well, to
honest,
be fair, you were busy like being documentation and taking
ah,
pictures and videos of
good
people
days, good
and
days.
talking to people. So you were really busy during that trip.
Well, thank you, but yeah, again, Ben's here. A few months later after that, I think that's when you started to get interested with the whole activities that we were doing for the NGO service, and that's when you got in. And then we had to go through a lot, to be honest. Is that like, I don't know, did you ever have an
A
athletic
lot.
background for that kind of sort of stuff?
Well, yes, I guess I had a background doing NGO work because ever since I was young, my mom would bring me to like do these volunteerism works and
Hmm.
like Saturday Sundays when we didn't have school, um or during summer break, we would go do some volunteering stuff, and she would always instill with me that if I have something to share, then I better share it to the people who need those things more than I do. So I guess social work was ingrained in me ever since I was young, and um, when I got to know our NGO, then it really gave me an avenue to, um, you know, want to be more
Hmm.
of myself, to be a better version of myself, so that I could help more people. You know.
It was a great opportunity for everyone. I mean, also I can relate with you. Like before, like I always wanted to do some service or I always wanted to help. I just didn't know how to, right? But
Yeah.
because of this opportunity, it gave us a bigger picture and a bigger, I guess it's like a level because like during that time, it was small. It was a startup, and right, we were the heads agad eh.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we
we
had to
were
do big
we were
projects.
calling the shots. Yep, yep, that's right. So I guess I could speak for the both of us that we were really glad, or we are really glad that we saw the opportunity and then took it. Um, wouldn't you agree with that? Parang
The defo,
di,
what
diba? When
two
you learned
years?
about it, were you like, okay, G, or were you like, let me think about it?
Actually, just share you a story. It's actually my best friend who invited me to do a hike.
Mhm.
It was just a normal hike. Like it wasn't
Mhm.
like, all right, we hike and then we do service, etc. like that. No, it was like, okay, let's take a bus ride. Oh, it's so sketchy. Let's take a bus ride to Tarlac. Let's just go and hike. And when I hiked and I saw the community, that's when I started to feel the love. I mean, that's when I get to dwell on all these feelings, the emotions that the community has, and I believe that that was my calling. I think during that time. So, what
That's right.
about you? How did this stumble upon you? Like, what made you get into it in the first place?
Um, well, something a little bit different than you is that I actually knew about the NGO before you, but then
Mm,
only because in college we had to have a immersion with a community. So for our theology class, we were split into four groups, and then each group had to choose which area they want to go to. For our class, if I remember correctly, we were given a choice between, well, definitely the Aita community, some fisher folk, and Bilibid prison ata, and then something else that I forgot. I think urban poor. Um, Back then, my groupmates and I were like, okay, we like the outdoors. I mean, all of us, our common denominator was outdoors. So why not choose the mountainous
outdoors.
community,
Yeah.
right? It's actually funny because two groups chose the same community, and we have to fight for it a little bit. Um, we have to like sweet talk them, and we had to like bribe them a little
Just
bit,
for them
you
to give
know.
up the option to
Yeah,
choose.
for them to give
What did you do?
up. We were like, oh, it's such a hassle kasi to go to those mountains. So kami na lang. I mean, we'll just take it. Uh, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys want an easier one.
Why?
Para your reflection paper could be easier. Also, ganun, chill lang kayo. Ganun. Who wants to go outdoors anyway? I mean, you're gonna hike up the mountains. That's like so difficult anyway. Relax lang kayo. you know. Um, so, uh, that's something good that happened, and then we were given a chance to go up to Tarlac, and the funny thing is that Project Liwanag was already a little bit started already
Yeah.
a year before I went up there, or half a year before I went up there, um, through Enzo's batch, I believe, and uh, the knowledge that they already amassed while visiting the communities, parang it it became a easier way for my group to be familiar with the community. And in one way or another, all of my group mates actually uh, contributed to the project during our college years, or even after the college years, which I'm very very proud of. Like for example, it's Alex was my batchmate. I
Alex
mean,
was
was
your
my
group
group
mate?
mate. I don't know.
The
I
fuck you
forgot.
talking
I
about?
forgot.
No, no, I don't think so. Cause Alex was part of Marty and
We were
Enzo.
we were batchmates. I
Which
think,
she went ahead of
my
you.
God, this is just 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and my memory already sucks. But if I remember correctly, three groups from three different classes is
Yeah.
is constitute one batch. So I was in one class, Alex was in another class, and then yeah, and then we got to know each other back then. We weren't close. I mean, we weren't friends back then, but then and I only knew her when I joined the NGO. Ganon. So, and yeah, joining the NGO was really eye-opening, because, especially because of the people there. The people there are really good, and they really helped me. Parang get to know. I mean, to make it really cheesy, to get to know my place in this world, and my purpose, I guess. Yan na nga. As what I've said a while ago, if I have something to share, then I might as well share it to some other people who need it more than I do. After all, if I just like hoard all of my blessings, then it's really meaningless at the end of the day.
That's very well said. Well, just to give a little bit background to all the viewers who are listening and watching, what we did for the NGO wasn't just like donation drives and stuff. What we had to do was we had to come up with projects that are sustainable enough for them to last. So our main focus back then was actually solar electrification. And the reason for that is because one of the most important aspects of having a life in the mountain remote lifestyle is that you don't have any light source. So light in the mountains is very important for their livelihood, for their social interaction and everything. And that's what we did before. Ben's here was one of, I would say, like one of the most hardworking uh, individuals that I've seen and got to work with. And I guess
No, man.
no, all I'm gonna
I
say
mean,
is
I
that
don't
you kept us in place like during the whole thing, like, because I got my
know.
own stuff, Enzo's got his own stuff, but the reason why we get to be organized is still because of you. Like you had a system to follow, and yeah, I think because of that we were able to execute plans in the organization well. And to be honest, I'm very thankful also that we got to dive into and develop and have and share the same passion. Because to be honest, we also did have any that disagreements. I guess we didn't have disagreements.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
mean,
That's right.
if we were making arrangements, like you and I, the group, like we were all okay about it, right?
Beef and I think we never had a fight. I think,
I doubt.
uh, right? Parang
Wait,
whenever one of us said something, thus we disagreed with each other. Parang we just said that we just say our piece. Like parang, oh,
yeah,
I disagree with you because ganito ganito. It's not gonna work that way because ganito ganito. And then I guess we always tried to listen to each other. Um, and we really tried to pull each other up. And that's what I really liked about our group. Parang it was whenever I had a weakness, you were there, and then the other people were there to fill in that space, and then to teach me how I could be better.
and we supported each
Um,
other for sure.
we did, and it forged a really strong friendship because what's that saying? The strongest steel is forged from the hottest fires or whatever. We went through a lot
That's some Greek
during
mythology
the
shit right there. What the fuck?
the Festus will be proud. Um, but then yeah, we were really we went through a lot considering that we were very young, uh, fresh out of
Oof,
college, right?
no job.
No jobs. We just went head first into an NGO. Uh, I don't know. I guess there was. I mean, if you want to put it in different words, then there was a higher calling for us back then.
Yeah.
That was really pulling us towards social work.
If I may ask though, like, what was your plan if you wouldn't get into the NGO? Like, what would you have done differently?
That's a very good question.
Right?
I
Like,
don't
have you ever thought
remember.
of that? Like, cause like when I was in college, and then I was just thinking, to be honest, to just get into corporate lifestyle. Like that was it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was my jive.
Um, I don't know. Actually, I forgot. I probably would have went to grad school,
Oh,
get a
master
master's
of.
degree. Probably. I don't know. But then the thing is, months before my graduation, I was already inclined to join Project Liwanag.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you don't know it because you're not the one who I talked to. But then I talked to
Mm-hmm.
EJ, and then I tell him na, oh, my graduation date is this date. Um, I could work with you on this date. Maybe you want to give me a chance. Maybe while I'm looking for a job, I could work for you muna. And then yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that he and you guys offered me that opportunity to work with you guys and work with the communities. And yeah, I probably would have went to a company, a corporation after graduation. But then I probably would have taken like 2 or 3 gap months first.
Probably for to take a rest because I think
Right.
you just went straight. No, like you didn't take a break. Like after graduation, you were like, oh, I remember you were still a student during that time, and then
Yeah.
we were waiting for you to graduate for you to decide if you're gonna stay or if you're gonna leave, right? And then you were like, okay, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna sign like my agreement. I'm gonna stay here, right? I think that's the time, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think our stories are very similar. For you two, I think you joined the NGO before you graduated also, right?
Yes, yes. I
Yeah.
graduated a month after I joined the N. I actually didn't really just join it. I went up, and then after that, I joined the NGO. Yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah,
pretty
same
interesting.
same story for me before my graduation. Um you know that few weeks, that hashtag graduating week, those 2 weeks.
Where you start to don't give a shit,
Um
like
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, your finals are done.
yeah.
You're just doing your clearance. You're just getting your signatures. You've already calculated your grades, and then you didn't get a fail. I didn't get a fail.
Can you
So
imagine? It's been
I'm
what, 4 years?
yeah, it's been
Shit.
4 years. Yeah. So during those 2 weeks of graduating, I don't know if you remembered, but then I took a 10-day retreat in Baguio.
Ooh.
It was more of a retreat, like, oh, what's your faith and what does it tell you and where do you go from here, something like that. So our cell phones were confiscated during those 10 days because it was a silent retreat. We weren't able to communicate with the outside world. So it was just us and our thoughts. Um,
Yeah.
for those 8 to 10 days, we were each thinking of what we're gonna do after we graduate. It was on the last day of the retreat when EJ called me, and then he said, "Oh, are you free next week, Monday?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess so." So I went to the office the next Monday, which if I remember correctly, was also the next day after I came home from Baguio. Uh, and then from then on, I was like, when I was in the office, you guys were like talking to me like, okay, this is what we do, this is what we're doing, this is what we plan to do. Um, I was like, okay, so aren't you gonna ask me like interview questions, like what are my credentials or whatever, ganon? And then you guys were like, okay, here's your responsibilities. I was like, okay, I guess I'm hired, I guess. So I think that was like 1 or 2 weeks before my graduation. So just like you and just like Enzo, I think we were already part of the NGO before we graduated, and we didn't have a break after after graduation as what some people do. But I guess I can speak for the both of us that we were really thankful actually that we started early. Uh, I mean, we had a head start to really do our plans and such.
I would say it's a good break. I mean, like just also going up to the mountains. I wouldn't consider it as a break, but I would consider it like a relaxing way for you to spend your graduation or like your,
Yeah,
I would say your unemployment time, right? Like,
yeah,
cause like
I guess so.
we were doing a lot. Like I would, no, so it's just we don't use cars, by the way, everybody. Like we just use cars to
Yeah,
get to the foothold of the mountain, but we travel and shit like that
yep.
via hiking, which was a
Because
big game changer. I would say it's a game changer.
it is. It is. It opened our eyes to a lot of experiences. Would you like to share what you wore the first time you went up?
Okay, so holy shit, this is some pretty bad shit. Like
Okay,
before,
pero for context, how long is the hike up the mountain?
okay, hike up the mountain. Probably that was like a 2.5 hour hike,
Okay, two
and
and a half
it's an
hours.
up. It's an uphill hike. It's not like a.
It was uphill. It was
It
really
wasn't
uphill.
like a flat hike and shit.
Yep.
And my situation before, or like my perception of hiking and everything, is like what you see from the ads, right? Like when you
Yeah.
see when you see Merrill ads, like you see them
Yeah,
wearing backpacks and then like all those hiking sticks and shit. So I
yeah,
was like one of the most geared up individual amongst you guys. My backpack was the military backpack. It was like a 25
yeah,
liter, I think a 25 liter backpack. I had a paracord in the back. I had ropes.
yeah. Yep, yep. And then do some of your stuff still have like the price tag because you just bought them the
Yeah, I
week
just
before?
bought it, and I had boots. Co- I had boots. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, yeah.
I also had
We
I also wore pants. So those are the
yeah.
things that were my perception with hiking.
Yes, yes. Wait, pants as in cargo pants or
Hiking pants
jeans?
rather. Ooh.
Okay, because I wore jeans the first time I went up.
You wore jeans? Oh shit.
I
I don't remember
wore
that, but
jeans.
oh my god.
No, no, this was during my immersion, so we didn't know each other back then. But I wore jeans, and then I stayed there for 3 days and 2 nights, and I was wearing jeans. I don't get it. And
And
then ever since that time,
and if it
I
gets
didn't wear
wet,
jeans.
I think one of the worst feelings that I've had was that my socks were wet, my shoes were wet. I didn't have slippers
Exactly,
at all. So holy shit.
exactly. Yeah,
Imagine
yeah,
how that
yeah.
felt. But
And pero what were we wearing when it was our like last few hikes already,
holy
like when
shit.
we
Like
were like
I was
veterans.
wearing a sando. I was wearing like close to maybe boxers type of slip, and then shit. I was wearing flip flops. Like we can fucking hike on flip flops. Like can you imagine?
Yeah, 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 yeah. We were just wearing slippers. We weren't wearing like shoes anymore. We were like, oh, we can do it with slippers, you know. We're experienced.
That just tells us a lot about the development that we had.
Yeah, yeah. All of our leg muscles were really trained during that time.
Can you care to share like what kind of transformation would you have said was like the biggest, or what is the biggest character development or growth that you had throughout the whole experience that you had with the NGO or Project Liwanag?
Huh. I never really thought about it, but I guess one of the biggest transformations for me was to become more empathetic and sympathetic to other people. To be more understanding to other people. Well, not just to the communities that we visit, but then to my fellow group mates as well. Like Beef. Um, it taught me the whole experience taught me to listen better and try to put myself in another person's shoes. Kasi syempre you're gonna think na okay, these Aitas are living in nipa huts. Why don't they live in like mansions with like swimming pools and like a 3-car parking garage, you know? So it really taught me that I myself come from a really really privileged lifestyle, and it also taught me not to take things for granted, and uh, other people are unfortunately not born into this privileged life, uh, like our group mates in Project Liwanag. And admittedly, before when I was young, I would think na, okay, why are these other people poor, and why are these other people like not hardworking? Why don't they have a job? Because on weekdays I see them in malls like that. Pero it taught me na okay, maybe looking for a job isn't as easy for them as me because I went to private school, I went to a good college. That gives me a huge advantage, and some people don't have that. So I guess yeah, what I learned was that to be more empathic to other people, and to see where they're coming from, and and for my group mates like Beef, they always remind me to uh, really know my place. that I come from a privileged place, and then some other people don't have that. And yeah, we should really share that privilege, those blessings. That's what I've said a while ago. Uh, yeah, we never actually talked about this before. So that's a good
Definitely.
question. I'd like to throw it back to you because I'm also curious what you learned in our 1 to 2 years of working in
Well, two
Project Liwanag.
years basically for me. I actually learned a lot, and something like yours as well. Well, because I don't want to sound mean as well, but then like to be honest, I didn't understand why some people were also poor in that sense. Like I could never see the point of like why not do something about it, or like
Yeah,
how how other people are actually very driven into that kind of poverty state. But what one thing I learned about the whole experience that I'd like to differentiate besides empathy is that I learned that happiness isn't valued through really on action and money, on values and these things.
yeah, yeah,
Because when I saw these itas when I was in the mountain and I lived with them for a couple of you and I lived with them, right? For a couple of times we've experienced that all the time. They were smiling with happiness. And what? They didn't have PCs, they didn't have PS4s, they didn't have all of these things that made me happy when I was a kid, like especially the
yes,
kids. They didn't have
yes, yes.
toys to make them,
We didn't have
play
toys.
that. So I guess
Nope.
that gave me a big perception of how happiness is and what happiness
Mm.
is to everyone. And when I say this, that happiness isn't really valued in money and stuff like that, like you just only see that in movies, but no, this is the legit living embodiment of that. So I guess it changed my perception and gave me a better view on how to value my life and the value of life on others. Because I don't know,
Yeah,
I guess I got a little bit more, um, I guess I got a little bit more happy now, like thinking that I have this and that, and I want to share it with others.
yeah,
That's why we're doing this podcast. Like that's why we're doing these things that we want to do. We want to share the happiness around the vibes, or I mean, to share the vibe to everyone else, right? We want to share the
yeah,
stories, the experience. I don't know
yeah.
if you can
I
agree.
couldn't, I couldn't agree more. And I guess I could speak for your friends also that who knew you ever since back in high school and before that
Holy shit.
your growth was really exponential. And then I remember there are times when Enzo and I would joke, "Oh my God, Beef, the most improved player of the year," something like that. Pero legit because we really know you, and
I'm not like
we
that,
see
right?
you.
Like
Yeah, and you're not, and the Beef that people know about today is so much different than who he was when I knew him 4 years ago, and probably from when other people knew him like more than 4 years ago, like when you were talking to Lance before, he was sharing about your background a little bit also. So yeah, although we joke about like, oh, Beef, most improved player of the year. I mean, we were really proud of your development. We were really proud of your growth talaga. Yeah.
well, that's very flattering, and I really appreciate that. I mean, like I also try to see myself like 4 years ago, and I'm like, shit, like I can't believe I was like that. Like I don't know. I just
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys used to joke with me a lot, like what I do, the way I say things, the way yeah, the simplest things. Like I don't know. So yeah, we just had a little bit of technical difficulty, but I guess we're back. So like I was saying, yeah, when I look back to my lifestyle before, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's one of the reasons why one of you guys, or like you guys, kept calling me bourgeoisie, like the Borges, right? Like, cause like the lifestyle I was living before, like shit, like I spend this, I spend that, and like right, the camping gear that I had. But when you slowly noticed, I was losing clothes, like
Yeah,
losing
yeah, yeah,
clothes,
yeah, yeah.
losing equipment,
After,
and all that shit.
yeah, yeah. After like 1 year, whenever we went up the mountains, you had just one outfit that you use
Gray shorts.
every, every weekend. For the 3 days, you have one outfit, which
Yeah.
Enzo and I think that you don't wash because it starts to smell. And then the shorts had the most number of holes in any
Yeah.
shorts ever. it probably had like 7 holes
No,
already
no,
because
no. It
you like to slide down the,
yeah.
the mountain on your butt.
Yeah,
And then like Enzo and I would look at you, parang that's a bad idea. And then you just slide down the mountain. You're like, no, 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 it's easier. You just slide down. Gravity works for you. We're like, all right.
yeah.
You do too.
Here's the thing, like that's a big character development on my side because that's when I started to
Yeah,
realize, that I get to do these things. 'Cause I
yeah.
get braver. I have more confidence in myself in doing these stupid stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And it really shows. It really shows. And I'm not kidding when I say that. We were really proud of your development and your
Uh
growth. Yeah.
huh.
I mean, you weren't just growing physically. Like, I know, we were all getting stronger now because physically stronger
Yeah,
because we had to hike up the mountains with all of these equipment
that's
and
true.
bringing, bringing, bringing solar panels. Carrying all that stuff. Our batteries, if you remember, our batteries were
Oh my
really
god.
heavy. I forgot the exact weight, but then we need at least 2 people to
It was
carry
62
each battery.
kg.
62 kilograms.
62
Wow.
kg to 66 kg. And I remember that one point or one community, we didn't have any access with cars. So I think either it was a kalabaw or if it was people, like with just holding, if it's a stick, and then the
Oh,
battery is in the middle.
yeah,
just,
yeah,
just
yeah.
imagine a
Yeah, yeah,
lechon.
yeah. They did
People
like,
are,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Grabe. And then the Aitas, which are which are really
freaking
so much
beasts.
stronger than we are.
Yeah.
Um, freaking beast. They still need 2 people to carry the battery. It was that heavy. And then the handle of the battery was really small. It was really hard to grip, and
Yeah.
it really hurt your hands. And if it hurt us, if it hurt the itis that much, what more? Or like clean,
Yeah.
moisturized
We
hands.
had fragile hands like that time.
Yeah, we had fragile hands, so that was a really good training for our physical strength. Um, that's why Beef here is one of our Philippines top athletes in obstacle course racing. Uh, pero okay, I have a question
I
for you.
appreciate it.
Did you join obstacle course racing because of the physical challenges that we had in Project Liwanag, or was that something like that you were inclined to do? Like whether or not you join Project Liwanag, you really are interested in those things.
That's a good question because, like, okay, real quick backstory. The reason why I got into fitness because I had a heartbreak, and I think you know about this.
I
That
was there.
heartbreak
I was
gave
there.
me a lot of thought into putting myself in. I don't know. I was insecure. I was, looking for validation. But I went to the physical fitness of building my body to a bodybuilder level, not into um excuse me, not into a, how do I say this, into a practical agility type, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or what
Mm-hmm.
OCR does in or obstacle course racing. But
Oh, really? Okay.
because of Project Liwanag, to be honest, it's actually Project Liwanag. That's the reason why I found out
Okay.
about Spartan Race. Remember, one of our partners,
Yeah. Yep.
um, from Halcyon Medical, yeah, si Gino,
Yep.
he
Yep.
had a corporate sponsor and he partnered us up with a race. Like for every view or for every like, I think like that corporate sponsor will
Yes.
donate. And I was
Yes.
the only one who ran
Yeah.
from because you guys you guys were on the way and you guys were gonna
We
join,
were.
but what happened? What happened?
What happened was Enzo and I were supposed to join that fateful day in
18.
2017.
It was 2018.
18.
January,
Okay.
Feb 2018, yeah.
We were supposed to join, but I forgot what it was. But then we had something to do still in Manila. That was Friday night. So I think I don't know. I think it was because of work or whatever. Pero we could only leave Friday night. And okay, to be fair, I had all of my gears with me. I had my shoes, I had my food, I had my backpack, I had my water, I had everything prepared. And honest to goodness, I really wanted to join the race. But I told Enzo and I told you, uh, okay, I'm gonna drive from Manila all the way to Pampanga.
Yeah.
It's a Friday night, probably super traffic. I'm gonna be super tired by the time I get there. Let's just see. Let's just see when we get there. We'll cross the bridge when we get there.
Oh
Enzo
god.
and I stop over at Petron Eslex, the one with the McDonald's. Tapos, while we were eating, we were just quiet. We were like, are we really gonna do this? Are we? And then we were like, we can't let Beef do it alone. I mean, we have to go with him. I mean,
Yeah.
what what if he gets injured out there? What if he needs help? We have to be there for him. Then we got to the venue. I think that was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. We went to the parking area. Then we slept. We were like, okay, let's just get some energy before we do the race at like 7 or 8 in the morning.
Yeah, race
So
gun start was 8 7:30 a.m. I think that time. And the funny part
yeah,
was,
around that.
oh yeah, I was in a separate house. I was with Gino. We slept
Mhm.
I slept for 4 hours, I guess. Then we went there at 6. I think you guys
Yeah,
were there at 5, something like that. Then I
yeah,
think
yeah,
Enzo was the one who chatted me. He was like, "Oh, come to parking lot." When I went to the parking lot,
yeah.
I saw two people sleeping with sand going in their faces because the fucking window was open.
The window's a little bit open. It was really sandy. And we're
Because I was in Alvera, Pork Pampanga, and like, holy shit. Like,
like,
I was like, okay, you guys aren't gonna join me for sure. Like, this is already what 6:30. At 7:30 is the gun start. What, you got 1 hour to prepare for everything? I don't think you guys are
yeah,
gonna.
yeah, yeah. And then I guess we got lazy. I mean, laziness got the best of us, and then we were like, okay, take care out there. We'll be waiting for you in the finish line. You'll do great.
And you
And
guys
then
did.
go next time. Yeah.
You guys waited for me. Like, holy shit, that was my first time running a Spartan race. First time running that long. And
Yes.
dude, I was trying to challenge myself. I joined the elite. First race ever.
Yes.
Elite. Super. 13 kilometers and holy shit, dude. 4 hours and 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
4 hours and
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes. And I had cramps. And you guys were in the end of the finish line. And you were like, it's baby boy. He's alive.
Yeah. By around the fourth hour, we were like, oh my god, is Beef
Is he
okay? We're like,
alive?
we should be done by now. Should we call someone? Should we tell the marshals like someone's missing or something? Ganun.
Yeah, I think
So
I
we
was
were
one
really
of.
worried.
No, no, to be honest, because
Yeah,
I was one of the last place in that
yeah,
race.
that's
Out
right.
of
And then
200,
yeah, we were counting the people crossing the finish line. Because we're like,
nope,
okay, not Beef, not
nope,
Beef,
nope.
nope, not him. And then we were going to the because siguro 500 meters before the finish line there were like 6 obstacles.
Mm.
And then we were going to each and every one of them. We were like, okay, where's Beef, is he here? And then we couldn't find you. So and it was so hot, so we went to the shade to wait for you na lang. And then we were like, oh, okay, he's there, great, he finished at least. Yeah, but you did really well for our first race.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. It was supposed to be 3 people. Like I was supposed to have
Mhm.
2 people beside me, just to have fun, talk
Mhm.
during the whole thing. But dude, fuck, I was left alone in the sand. And
You were there in spirit.
but here's the thing, though. One thing I learned about that race is that you gotta learn how to be independent also, because like for all of the times I guess I was doing stuff, and I think that was my first athletic race ever. I've been
Yeah,
doing things with someone else, like with someone to
yeah,
support me or someone to guide me. But because of that
okay.
race, I guess that's when I started to learn how to be independent and learn my own rhythm. Because you think about getting into fitness or getting into something new, I would
Mm-hmm.
say that you would look for a coach maybe or advisor, right? Something like that. But if you
Mm-hmm.
get to do and experience this yourself, it's a bigger improvement or a bigger growth because you get to know and understand how your body moves or how your mind is, right? So I
Right,
guess
right,
that's my
right, right.
biggest takeaway from that Spartan race. And that's the reason why today I still compete for that. And I love the sport. That's because that's what it gets
Yeah,
challenge my head.
yeah. Actually, for those of you listening who don't know, Beef is actually one of the globally top athletes
In what
last
world?
year, right?
Uh,
2019, right?
yeah, but
You were top three
it wasn't
in your
global.
age
No,
group.
no, that wasn't global. That was regional. Regional. It was in Southeast Asia.
It's still pretty huge, you know.
Pretty
It's
huge
still
obstacles.
more than I could conquer. Not a sponsor,
Yeah, but
but you know.
yeah, I really appreciate, to be honest, the effort that you guys have been. I mean, sorry, the support that you guys have been providing me. Because since day one of my OCR journey, it started from actually no. I want to get into your OCR journey because, by the way, guys, after Project Liwanag, we were still continuing to find ourselves in because we first of all we didn't have a job after graduation, so we didn't get to really explore ourselves in whatever we can do best or what. And we
Yeah,
never got into the fitness lifestyle because in Project Liwanag we thought it was a lifestyle given the hiking
yeah,
and shit. So we started getting into the OCR lifestyle, the obstacle course racing lifestyle. First of all,
yeah.
Benz was like one of those who were not into it at all. Like when he
Mhm.
learned about my situation, what did you say? You were like, "Why the fuck are you doing this?"
Yeah, exactly. Your first race in Pampanga, you had all of these injuries, and like I think your shoulder was like
Yeah, rotator
ninety
cuff.
five
Yeah,
percent dislocated or whatever, and then you had all of these like scars in your hands and whatever, and you had sunburn and everything, and I'm like, why are you happy about this? Does this what? Are you fooling yourself here? Like
then you
what?
think about it. Like, why do people pay? Excuse me, this price for to get hurt or to suffer, right?
Exactly. Spartan races are one of the more expensive races.
Yeah, it's a high end to
Um,
mid. Yeah.
yeah, right. So I'm like, why are you paying thousands of pesos just to hurt yourself? I mean, come on, I don't comprehend that. But then, it was actually thanks to you, who was really passionate about obstacle course racing that really got me and a lot of other people inspired to at least try it.
I finally got to convince you.
Yes, that's right. I was convinced. I went to training with Beef every week. The gym was not cheap, also.
Was this OSF? This was OSF
Yes,
or yeah, it was
yes,
OSF. Yeah, Obstacle
mhm.
Sports Factory.
It was not cheap. Parking was horrible. It was in BGC.
No,
Uh,
no, even in BGC. It was before BGC. It's in Guadalupe,
yeah, it's
and
in
it had a
Kalayaan.
small road.
It's more-
And then if you stop for parking, people would like fuck around with you, and then
Yeah, I mean, it was a horrible place. But it was our home sometimes.
yeah, it
I
was
mean,
a
we would
home.
just go to hang out, Wala, it was really homey. So I started my Spartan racing after you. Uh, but then I don't remember if it's the race immediately after yours or were there some
No,
races.
it took some time for you to get convinced, cause
Yeah,
cause the oh no, it is the race. No, you were
the
trying to
one.
prepare for it. It was in Subic. That was your first race, Subic.
Yeah. And then
That's yeah.
you were, yeah, because I remember telling you, okay, I wasn't able to join you in this race, but then next time I promise that
Yeah,
I'll be there with you. Yeah, unlike
because
other people who
quote unquote until no he did join this year though. That by the way,
don't eventually. Cough,
I've
cough,
been
cough.
trying to convince Enzo, my best friend, for some time already, like to do Spartan racing. He's like, okay, but I'm still scared, or like I'm still not sure, I'm not prepared. Ben's on the other hand, like he's been scared. He's
Yeah.
unsure, and he still doesn't know why he does it, but he still goes to the gym. Everything, I don't know. It either way, it depends on the person, but I'm still glad that he got to do it. And for me, I'm happy that you also started to jive with it, because the first time you did
Yeah.
it, I think you passed out in along the way because you were like eating gummy bears. I remember.
Yes.
A little bit
No, I didn't
backstory. Subic was a
pass out.
shitty. Yeah, Subic was a shitty weather pa.
It
It
was
was
muddy
raining. Yeah, it was raining and muddy.
the night before, and I think during the race it rained. Um, so it was a really difficult terrain. Um, I'm not just like Beef. I'm not a physical person, and back in high school also I was overweight. Um, I only lost weight in college because of stress, and I wasn't feeding myself. But then I wasn't really like that physical person. I had some fun runs, some,
Like
but
those
then
force fun runs.
yeah, the forced fun runs that your school make you sign up for,
Oh yeah, I have that.
and it didn't really interest me at all. Like no, like I couldn't see myself like going to the gym, being active, like running. But then beef happened, and
I
then
happened.
he new happened. Uh, I guess after my first race, I was hooked. Uh, to the point that I would go to other races, even without beef. So
Abroad.
yes, I even went to Malaysia with some other friends, just to race, a Spartan race. Well,
So
I mean,
the question, I guess my question there is like, what made you get into that? Like, what was it that made you get into that? Was it the race itself? Was it the passion that I had, or like was it like an entirely whole different thing?
um, it was a lot of things actually. Number one, it was really because of you, because of how passionate you were talking about it, how
Oh,
passionate you were
wow.
like really pushing us to go to training. You were really following up. Oh, you're going tomorrow, right? We have a session, ganito, ganito. Um, and then while training, you were really helping us. Like, okay, here are some techniques that you could do. Here, let's train like this, like that. And you were telling me, okay, here are the gears that we should need, because definitely you were more experienced than I was back then.
Good
So
times.
you know what advice to give, like a greenhorn like me. So um, you were really really driven, and I really really felt that. And well, as your friend, if you're really passionate about something, ako kasi I really like to support friends who are passionate about their things. And well, I suppose I gave it a chance because of you. But then on the other hand, also, um, the motivation was also intrinsic, because when I was a kid, I was very, very sickly. I was usually in the hospital like uh, every month. Like this was in preschool. Like, every month, like I would always get dextrose IV in my hands, and then like I remember like whenever I would go to visit in the hospital, like I would have to tell the nurse, okay, you can't put the IV here because I had it here last month, so it's not healed yet.
Yes, we're
You know,
kind of
so
like
they have
used
to.
to it now.
Yeah, yeah. So I was really sickly. I wasn't active. I had no sports. My only sport was chess. So it was literally like sitting down
It's a
in
mind
front of
game.
a table and then thinking. That's what I did. So no physical activity at all. Um, yeah, I mean I can't swim. No physical activity at all. Yun nga. I tried different sports. They never ever
You
stuck with
never
me.
get hooked now, like on that.
Yeah, except when Beef was the one who really hooked me into it. Pero I mean, the motivation for me to do it was also intrinsic, because I felt like I had something to prove. Parang ever since before, I derive motivation when people don't believe in me. I'm not sure if that's a healthy thing or not. But then whenever someone thinks that I can't do something, I like to prove them wrong.
Like a
And
challenge for yourself.
that's a challenge, right? So I'm not sure if that's unhealthy or what, but then I channeled that energy like, oh, you don't believe in me, huh? I'll show you. You know, you better
And
shut your mouth.
in that point, I would say, like, I guess it's a good avenue for you to find motivation to what you want to do. Like, it's a good starter. But if you keep on, I guess if you stick by it like in your life, I don't think it's a good idea also, because like you're
Yeah,
just gonna keep
I
on, you
guess so.
know.
Yeah, especially if people tell me, "Hey, you're doing great." I'm like, I'll show you. I'm not doing
I'll
great.
show you great.
I'm doing worse. so, so yeah, my first race. If you remember, I did a back-to-back race. I
Oh
did
yeah,
a super
in
in
a
the
sprint.
morning and then a sprint in the afternoon.
Yeah,
That's a total of around 21 to 25 kilometers.
yeah.
I don't know. It was the wilderness. um, Beef only did one race, right, that day.
I did too. Um,
You did two.
I did beast and sprint because I didn't have time for the super anymore.
Okay, okay. But then Beef went back to our hotel resort, whatever, earlier than I did. I
Yes.
was stuck with Marky. Marky was my race buddy during that time. I hope he's listening. Great guy. Um, and I don't know if he told you the story or not. But then
Which one?
after our race, uh, uh, when I crossed the finish line, I was like, okay, this it's finally over. It's finally over. I've finally accomplished something,
Yeah.
right? I finally proved people wrong, and I finally proved that I can do something that people didn't expect of me. So I grabbed my finisher rewards, the shirt, the medal, and then I was looking at it. I was looking at the shirt and my medal, and I was like, okay, these are actually um tangible objects that I can be proud of, that I can show na okay, I could do something. I could really accomplish something if I put my mind into it. Even though I didn't expect it. So I don't know if Marky told you the story or not, but then uh I took my first finisher shirt, I laid it on the grass. Um I lied down. I was wearing my two medals, and then I took my second finisher shirt and I covered it over my face because I was crying. Because I was so
Oh.
emotional back then. I was like, oh my god, I didn't think that I could accomplish something like this. And it was all thanks to, well, number one, it was Beef,
Oh fuck yeah.
um, who was training me, and well, Marky, and also Marky, because he was there, he was racing with me. It was because of people who never gave up on me, um, and I guess I also didn't give up on me, so I
Yeah, dude.
was also thankful to myself about that also. Uh, yeah, so
I
after
guess
that,
that's the
after the
biggest.
first race, I was like, okay,
I guess
I
that's.
see I see why people do this now, I guess.
Ah, damn, dude. I didn't know that. I got goosebumps in a way. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
You know, I
I
thought you
think
were
it was like
crying because you were hurting. That was the
no,
implication, that because why you were crying was because you were hurting. So apparently, it's because you were just overly joyed from that.
well, I was hurting to the point that I didn't feel it anymore. It was like
It was numb.
it was numb. It was already numb. But then yeah, but then yeah, I was crying for like 30 minutes at it. Was like rain was pouring, so
Oh yeah, it
it
was
it,
fucking
it, it
raining hard.
it covered the tears, I guess. So so ayan, that was my motivation. That was my reason why I stuck with obstacle course racing and why I continued it. That's the reason why I also ran other races. Normal running races, not like obstacle course racing. But then which road racing, which Beef isn't really inclined to. He doesn't like pavement, I guess. He likes the woods and like bugs and soil,
I like to
those
get
kind.
hurt.
Yeah,
I like to
yeah,
get hurt in my races, so yeah. Thank you very much. I would take the woods.
yeah. He's a masochist. Oh, have you ever got lost in a race before?
Oh, you gotta bring this up here, huh? You wanna bring this up? Okay, okay, I got you over there. Well, before we divulge into that, I just wanna say that Benz. To be honest, I'm really proud of you. Like, can I just say, last 2019 was his biggest race career. Cause one, I probably did like 12 races overall last year, including overseas. But holy shit, you tell me how many races did you do last year alone?
2019, I did 30 races.
Son of a
So
and
that's
Jesus, that doesn't
so.
include OC. That includes OCR, and this guy
It
even
includes
went to fucking Taal just to fucking race, and we didn't even know that was gonna race that far, cause like we just saw him send a photo to our chat that he's on a boat. Like, what the fuck?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You had to drive down to the beach in Talisay and then take a bangka all the way to Taal volcano, Taal Island. This was before the eruption,
All
so
right, yeah.
it was it was still raceable. I hope the people there are doing fine. Um, but then it was a really memorable race because number one, I think it was a Sunday. Tapos in the afternoon, I think around 5 o'clock, I had a flight. I had a business trip, so I needed to be
Oh
in the
shit.
airport 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever. Ganun. So I was like, okay, if I don't finish this on time, I'll be late for my flight. That's a very bad thing. So that was one of my motivations to finish because I didn't want to be late for my flight. I mean, who wants to be called in the PA system like, oh, paging passenger Benz Limsenkeng. Oh, you're the last person that we're waiting for. That's so embarrassing. Because you're gonna go into the airplane. Because everyone's gonna look at
Yep.
you like, oh,
Pressure's on you.
yeah, exactly. So I had my friend drive me all the way to Taal, all the way to Talisay. The race was 25 kilometers around Taal Island. So we had to circumvent Taal Island. So we had to run on the beach on sand.
Yeah, it was sand.
And sand and lahar is a little bit different because at least lahar it somewhat holds your footing because
Yeah.
in lahar yeah sure it like goes down
Yeah,
a
it,
little
it
bit.
it sinks a bit, but you still get to have proper footing.
But then in the beach it totally sinks all the way to half of my foot.
It goes
So
sideways, like
right,
your
right, right,
footing.
right. So um the other racers and I we would look for ways to save on energy like uh we would like cut through the woods which is not part of the trail just so just so the race will be easier, but
Uh-huh.
then not like a shorter route, but then it's like a different route, but which to a normal person logically would be more difficult to run.
Uh-huh.
But then we preferred the woods versus like the sand. Also, another technique is we would race close to the
The shoreline, yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, because water compacts sand, and then that's where we could actually run. Yeah, so it was fun. It was a really good race. I think it was my first solo race that I did. I was trying to get you guys to go also, but then you guys like, oh, no way, Jose.
You know my
So
experience.
yeah, pero that was really fun. That was really an eye opener. And yan na nga, bringing it back to a while ago. It was thanks to you guys that really pushed me to do it because I mean I wouldn't think of going 25 kilometers on a trail alone.
Alone, yeah. Shit.
Diba? Parang it was really really scary. And then I guess like and I don't know if you resonate with me. Even like even if you race a lot already, you still get like the pre-race jitters and like really you get really really nervous, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So because you're scared, oh what might happen? Oh I might get hurt or something ganun. So yeah, buti na lang it's over. And this year I haven't ran
Single one.
zero, not even a virtual run, no zero.
But it's still
Yeah.
different, like a little bit different from, our usual sporting events, like how virtual runs are. I would say it's like a little bit less discourage. I mean, it's a little bit less encouraging rather, because we race OCR for a reason, because there's obstacles, and then later on you take it off, it
Yeah.
becomes like a
Yeah.
normal run, which for me myself, I had a pretty bad experience. By the way, I just want to say that that was like my Spartan moment when you ran alone, and that's when you get to
Oh,
realize these things, right?
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Eventually.
Parang you realize that yes, you didn't finish in the top 10 of the racers, but then you also didn't finish in the bottom 10. So you've came a long way
Definitely.
from
From being
from
sickly,
previous
from
season.
being unathletic before, all these things, and then you freaking tell yourself at the end of that shit that, hey,
Yeah,
I get this medal of the Tala
yeah.
Island.
Yeah. It wasn't bought. It wasn't like, oh okay, we'll just give it to you because we have extra.
Yeah, it's earned. Hard
No, it
earned.
was earned. It was earned.
Earned, not
Yeah,
given. That's what I like about
yeah,
this statement, the earned, not given statement.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which brings me to one of our favorite races where Beef
Shit.
had an incident.
Okay.
This was in Rizal.
I would say like this is one of the reasons why I don't like to do these kind of races that
Okay,
drive me into I would say into competitive mode. Okay, so first of all, I
okay.
was I was injured. My knee was hurting
Mm-hmm.
that time, my right knee rather. And then
Mm-hmm.
I told myself that because you're doing a 21K. I remember you were doing a 21K.
Yeah.
I was doing a 12K, and that's the reason why. Because I was like, okay, fuck, I'm injured. I want to just take it slow, right? The race. I want to pace myself. And then boom, gun start hits, and I was running pretty well with my friends Gabrisario, Crystal. We were
Mm-hmm.
still in a good pace. Like it was good. It was fun. I was like, oh, so this is what trail running is. Because that was my first trail run ever.
Oh, really?
That was my
Okay.
first trail run. Like the other
Oh, okay.
runs that I've ever had were all Spartan race and obstacle course races. So it's a mix of concrete and a
Yeah,
mix of
yeah. You can make
woods.
trail and pavement
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
But for this one, that was my first trail run because you guys have been going out for trail runs, and I was like, oh, what the hell? Oh, you went to the Salomon, I think that was Francis, and then the Rutangina, that was one of them. I forgot what is
Yeah.
Rutangina. I don't know what kind of
It was BTS
yeah,
mountain.
yeah. You guys were doing a challenge, there were like 3 medals, right?
Yeah, I think it was a trifecta also. We only did the first two because the third one conflicted with another
Ah,
race.
yeah, yeah. See, these guys. Oh, I remember you guys were doing weekly races, like weekend races, continuously. We're
It
going
came to a point when I had like 7 races in 6 weeks.
continuous, diba? Like you had no rest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I would wake up every week and I'll be like,
There's another
okay.
race.
Uh, that was after that series, after the seventh race. The weekend after the seventh race, I woke up the weekend. I was like, something feels strange. I should be somewhere right
Why am
now.
I home?
Yeah, why am I here? So your first trail race was actually really really memorable. So you were keeping
Yes.
a good pace.
Yeah, I was keeping a good pace. Everyone was like
Yeah.
before this. I mean, Gab was in front of me. We were all doing well, and then we figured something was wrong because I was at the 11th kilometer and I was in the top of a summit. And I was like, wait a minute. I signed up for the 12K. And then
Yeah.
I started seeing people behind me, or sorry, in front of me, that I haven't passed by because we were one of the first few batches to go on because it was 8K, 12K. And you can say
Yeah.
from the bib, right? So the
Yeah.
12K bib people in front of me, I was like, holy shit, I've never seen this guy pass by me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be obnoxious or what. Like,
Yeah.
like I've never seen this guy pass by me. So why is he in front of me, right? And then I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I think we took a wrong route. And not because it was our fault, but rather, oh my god, it was just really the marshals like that were in the race. Apparently, one of the marshals directed, I guess, half of the 12-kilometer racers to a different path
Yeah.
that led
They were
us.
misinformed.
No, it merged us in the fucking 21K.
Mm-hmm. That's
So my
correct.
12K race became a 21K race, and I don't know, this guy. Oh, here's the thing. I saw Benz on that race, and he was
Yeah.
like, I was like, oh, what's up, Benz? I was still happy because like that was like
Yeah.
before the thing. And then when I saw him again in the second loop, I was like, wait a minute, you were in front of me now? Like, I was just passed by you, so I was like, holy shit, what happened? And then when I finished the race, oh my god, all of my friends who raced that, we didn't want to race anymore a trail run because that was such a bad just a bad showcasing bad form of organizing. And I guess it taught me a lot of lessons as well. First of all, I was mad while I was running,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. You were. You were. You really were.
I was mad, and even after running I was fucking pissed. And that
You weren't
just
talking to anyone. You were like sulking in the corner. You were just sitting on the sidewalk, plus you're like not talking to anyone.
but you can't help it, right? Get mad. But
Yeah, of course.
it really taught me a great lesson that not everything's gonna go in your own way. Like
Yeah.
these races, you assume kasi like once you gun start talaga, you're off to the course, diba? But because of that race, it gave me a little bit perspective of getting lost. And that's probably what I felt at one point in my life. I got lost and I was pissed about it because I don't know what to do, right? And
Yep.
meeting you, the NGO, that's what was waiting for me in the finishing line for me to redirect what I wanted to do. And I guess that's how I get to connect this, the lesson that I learned from that, because I was just really
Wow.
thankful that, fuck, dude, like even though if I got lost, I got pissed in that shit. At the end of it, look at us now. We were in this kind
Yep.
of situation, right? We've
Yep.
developed, and yeah, I've never raced a fucking trail run after.
It really scarred you. But then
Yeah, you were
trail
inviting
running.
me
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
of
I
times
like
already,
trail running.
and I was like,
Yeah.
no,
No.
no, no, and
It's
initially,
also the reason why I like to nerd out on race maps, because when they give it like the week before, I really like to study it, and I really like to know, okay, by
they
kilometer ganon, I turn right, something like that.
they don't give for my in my defense, I don't have GPS like while I was running.
Okay, okay. I mean, I guess that's one of my techniques kasi while I'm out there running. I think that if I keep my brain busy and working, I won't notice that my body is hurting already. So I
Yeah,
try to remember where I am during the race, vis-a-vis the race map. Tapos I would try to predict, okay, um, if I run for 1 more kilometer, then there should be a water station. So I try to mentally distract myself from all the pain and all the cramps that I'm feeling in my body. Uh, that's one technique that people can use.
yeah.
Again, I'm not sure if it's healthy.
And to be honest, I learned it the hard way also. I think this can apply to everyone as well. Don't follow anybody. Like just just don't keep on following
Blindly,
somebody like
right?
blindly also, because I was following
Yeah.
Silagab, I was following these other athletes while they were running, and I wasn't really concerned about where I was because I was more into the focus of I'm just behind them. It's a race that you yourself should be responsible about where you should do, and that's my bad. But ever since then, like what you said, I studied the map na din, especially for Spartan races. I never got
Yeah.
lost to any Spartan race and such like that. One, because
Yeah.
good or event organization. Two, because I start to know now where the points are, especially with Spartan race, because there's obstacles, so you get to know where the
Yes.
kilometer is for the obstacles.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
that taught me a hard lesson of that kind of stature. So I guess you can apply it with life. Don't follow someone blindly, especially if
True.
you're trying to follow an influencer all the way. You want to be like this guy all the time. I guess
That's true.
diba? You start to realize that shit. This isn't really me, right?
Yeah. And the situation of other people might not apply to you.
Yeah,
For example, when you were racing, diba, some other people were 21-kilometer racers, some other people were 8-kilometer racers.
definitely.
You were a 12-kilometer racer. So I guess you can also say that uh, yeah. For the listeners out there, don't take our word like as like gospel truth.
I think
It was our situation, which is different than yours. Uh, yeah. So I like what you said a while ago that you shouldn't just follow things blindly. I mean, uh, in this generation, we're constantly bombarded with information, different uh, news reports and media, and I guess it's really really up to us to check if those things are valid and if those things are true, especially if some titas are sharing like Facebook videos on Viber, things like those, which might be honest, sure, but it might not be like the complete truth. Okay. So yeah, I like what you said a while ago, not to follow things blindly and to really question if these things are true.
well, yeah, and you know what the shitty part was? I think one of the biggest part was that because I was fucking injured, so
Mm-hmm.
the extra 9K fucked me up for my next race, and that's one of the reasons why I got pissed. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but this still doesn't give you an excuse. Yes, really.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really fun. It was really fun. And I think, I don't know, 30 years down the line, I don't know, I guess we'll still be friends, right?
Yeah, fuck
We'll
yeah,
be looking back on these years and we'll like
definitely.
laugh at the
I'll be
memories
like,
and
holy shit, this is the reason why I don't do trail runs anymore. No, it's okay. Like I'm okay with trail runs as long as it doesn't have a goat in it. That's it.
oh God.
Oh,
Oh
yeah, that's it.
no.
But
But you're really speedy though, so you should be
oh,
you should be able to speed through it.
okay, okay, okay. But yeah, I guess we went a little bit over time, but I really appreciate what you shared with me like today, Ben's. Like these things we never really get to talk about because believe it or not,
Yeah.
90% of the conversations that Benz and I have are all jokes and sarcasm. Like when we see each other, with a, especially when we're doing races, they're like, "Oh, he's like, oh fuck you, no, 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 fuck you." Like we're just doing these kind of
True.
banters, so we never really got this kind of, I guess, interaction with one another. So I really
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah. Thanks also. I just have one final thing to share to you. I don't know
Yeah,
if I've told you this already, but then um, we knew each other ever since 2016, 2017,
that's
and
right.
the people and then there are a lot of people who see our interactions, right, the two of us,
Yes.
and they always tell me, oh, are you like high school or grade school barkada ganun? And I'm like, no, I just met him like last year ganun. And they're really really surprised that we really jive well together, and they think that our friendship like goes back like a few reincarnations ago. So uh,
Ah.
uh, so Beef is actually one of the easier friends that I could talk to um, about my problems. Like sometimes when I have problems, I just call him and I chat him. Hey, what do you think about this? Ganun. So I'm really happy that you took this leap, and I only wish the best things for you. I mean, I'll support you all the way, man. Even if you,
Thanks, dude.
even if this fails, like
Of course, it's not gonna fail. You know why? Because these stories that you shared with me, even though these won't be listened by many, it will always be a story that I will always listen forever. It's a
Yeah, like
memory. It's priceless.
probably like 20% of the listeners would be like me, and like 40% would be you.
Nah, nah.
The
But
rest
yeah,
will be our moms.
I like the way that you said about you know us being like maybe longtime friends. Cause yeah, we believe it or not, we jive and we get along well for some damn reason. But
Yeah.
I'm thankful, and yeah, I really appreciate what we've been through, especially during the NGO years, because I think that was the most formative years of my life on how I get to be who I am right now. Yeah. So
Definitely.
do you have
And I
any?
agree with you 100%. Yeah.
I'd like to
And I
ask.
like what,
Yeah.
yeah. I just want to say I like what you said a while ago, that years down the line, well, we might watch these podcasts again. Uh, I don't know. Maybe maybe like 10 years down the line, we'll look back and see how far we've gone. You know.
Hopefully not
So
dead.
yeah, yeah. The question.
No, I was saying if you would have an advice, especially for those, because I guess this can relate for those one who were never athletic in their life, and two who had no direction from college. What would you give as an advice? Like, let's start with I guess the never athletic side.
Oh, I guess my advice is never stop trying. Um, you'll never know how good you are at one thing, or you'll never know how much you'd enjoy one thing until you try it. Um, so yeah, never stop trying. Never tell yourself na, oh, because something like this happened before, then I'm scared that it might then I'm scared that I might not be successful in doing that thing. Like I'm a tall guy, and I've tried to play basketball, and I
Hmm.
could not dribble the ball, let alone shoot the ball. Pero trying out like OCR and running, parang it is a sport that I enjoy, and it's only because that I tried it. Yeah. On the other hand, it's also important to have a support system whenever
That's
you're
right.
trying something. It's really scary, and trust me, I get scared a lot also. It's really scary trying something new. A hack that I found out is that you find some people who will go with you. Like for me, whenever I need like someone to talk to about fitness, about running, then I go to Beef and our other teammates. uh Whenever I need to talk to someone about food and coffee, I have other people. About music, I have other people. About work, I have other people. So it's really important that you have and you know your support systems, who are there for you whenever you need that additional boost in bravery and in trying things out. Yeah,
Yeah, very well said. Uh, that's really important. That's what most people,
yeah.
I
I'm
guess,
not.
they overlook
Mhm.
in these things because they think they can do everything on their own need. I mean, that's good, that kind of
Yeah,
mentality that you
yeah,
have, but it still helps you start things off in a way for
yeah,
things to be easy for you to understand and
yeah.
to develop.
Admittedly, I was like that also. Like I can do this by myself. Pero I mean, getting to know all these wonderful people, I mean, it made things easier, so much easier for me. And yeah, I'm not gonna say na don't be afraid to don't be afraid when you're trying, because sometimes fear could be something that's good if you channel it in a positive way. um Actually, sometimes when you're nervous about something, it's good because it means that you care about that thing. Ganun. Like Beef and I, whenever it's before a race, we get super nervous. Well, because we care
I
about
take a
like
shit.
performing, right? Like,
I take a shit.
we really go the extra mile preparing and over preparing for everything. Uh, because we get nervous because we care. Ganun. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, it's very well said. How about like the advice for those who are not, still unsure, I guess, like especially for those who are graduating.
What do you mean unsure about like what they're
Sorry,
gonna do in the future or
I would say like probably who are still lost, I guess, like to what they want. I guess that's a more general aspect to things.
oh okay for those who are lost, I'm one of those people who don't know what they're gonna do uh 10 years from now, 5 years from now, let alone like next year. I don't know what I'm gonna do next year. um
2021.
I guess, right? Because well, right now I'm unemployed, or as the young ones call it, fun employed. Hey,
Defo.
so I don't really know what I'm gonna do next. But I'm not really taking it too seriously. Um, so yeah, when you're lost, don't take yourself too seriously. Parang just for me, I prefer to go with the flow, go where the winds take me, metaphorically. Just like in Project Liwanag, when I had that phone call in Baguio, I was like, okay, this is a sign. Um, just like when Beef asked me to go to Spartan Racing with him, I took it as a sign also. Okay, I'll go with the flow. I'll try it out. Ganun. So yeah, don't just chill, man. Don't take it too seriously. I mean, you'll get there. You'll get there at your own pace. You don't need to be as fast as the other people. You don't need to compete because at the end of the day, even if you're faster than them, parang so what? I mean,
Yeah.
okay, you're gonna buy yourself a medal or something. What? No, man. Just take it at your own pace. You're doing perfectly fine where you are. Perfectly fine.
Well, that's Ben's for you, and I like that last part because yeah, goals are personal. Competition isn't with others; it's about yourself, and
Yeah, that's right.
development grows best when you compete against yourself rather than others, where you just try to fit in and just try to be good enough for them. Be
Yeah.
more than good
And
enough.
and I like what Alex said a few podcast episodes back. I think she said you just have to be better than who you were yesterday. Every day. Just try to be a little bit better.
That's
At
true.
your own pace. Fine.
Well,
Chill,
shit.
man.
Thanks a lot, Benz. I mean, first of all, thank you for being here. Really honored to have you here and spending your time. Can you imagine that that conversation was really, really, really fucking long, and I enjoyed that conversation. No,
Thank you
honestly, I
too,
did.
man. The honor is all mine. I mean, yeah. I mean, to be a guest star here. Oh my god.
Come on,
I won't forget you, little people.
nah, dude. But yeah, again, really appreciate it. And everyone else who's watching and listening to this, I hope you guys learned a thing or two. But of course, these are all advices. Everything in life is still up to your action. So,
Yeah, man.
Benz, do you have any last words for this podcast?
Well, I just like to say that I was checking your viewers a while ago. Um, Alex's episode did really well. Lance's episode didn't do as well as Alex.
It's volume.
I hope his volume. Oh my God, God save his mic. I hope the next episodes, including this one, would be really really good. Um, and people would watch and maybe go back to previous episodes and watch those also. But I mean, personally, from me to you, Beef, even if like no one watches, even if this fails, I mean, we don't know. It's possible. Even if this fails, then at least you tried. At least you tried.
Ah,
And
thanks,
then
dude.
as long as you're trying, as long as you're passionate about what you're doing, then I'll be there for you, man. All of us, all of your friends will be there for you.
Well, shit, that's very. I appreciate that, dude, and I have no doubt that I mean, I would say I'm also like that. Ditto for you guys, and yeah, really
Thank
appreciate
you,
that.
man.
So, if anyone wants to follow Benz's lifestyle, if anyone wants to catch
Oh,
up with Benz's lifestyle, what is your Instagram handle, Benz?
my Instagram handle. I hope people laugh about this. It's at not broken, just bends. And we can learn to love again, you know.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ. Okay,
not broken, just bends. That's what we all are. We are not broken. We're, I mean,
just
I
Ben.
guess I'm just Ben. And you're just, insert your name here.
Oh shit. Well, again, thank you everyone, and thank you, Benz, for spending time with us today in the Beefcast. Really appreciate it, and as always, bye bye.
Bye.